We are live. We are live, 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 live. Listen, it is Triumphant Tuesday. It is the day that the Lord has made. Stop what you're doing. Let somebody know that we live. If you are scrolling past this, if you're watching by replay, let them know. Say, Andrea Purr is live. Let me share this. Let me share this. We have not just Andrea Purry, but you see the lovely faces on the screen. This is Triumphant Tuesday, Super Supporters for Singles. Real Talk, We Talk. We presenting you with an amazing, amazing series on trauma, triggers, and triumph. We are getting ready for our conference, y'all. Somebody say conference in the conference. We're getting ready for conference. This is something that we do every single year. I've done it ever since my mom passed away in 2020. So in 2021, we started off strong. 2022, listen, we came in with a bang. I believe that's when we was marked by abundance in 2021. I think we was marked by abundance in 2021. It was amazing. You do not want to miss the conference. We will have more information and more details coming out. We're going to have the photos, the flyers, and everything coming out. And basically, we're just promoting, and pushing up into that point. And we definitely want you to be a part. So come down in the comments, be engaged in this show tonight. And I'm going to introduce you to these lovely ladies on my screen. We have the illustrious Fabiana. We have Kawana Ballet. Ooh. And we have your neighborhood therapist. I told her she's the type of guest that she can go in the refrigerator and get something now because she's been here many times. Our neighborhood therapist, Jessica Renee Rogers. Ooh. Listen, I always love to do a little something different. I know they'd be like, Trey, what you doing this time? But I love to do a little something different. I am going to allow them to introduce themselves in their own perspective ways. Let people know who you are, what you do. And we're going to have a little icebreaker today again. What is one word that you are carrying with you for this week? We're going to start with Fabiana.
It's not one word. It's enough is enough.
Enough is enough. That's 4 words, y'all. Tell us who you are, Fabiana, where you are located, and a little bit about you.
I am Fabiana Anderson. I am founder and owner of a Woman of God's Business ministry. I am a singer-songwriter affiliated with GMWA and BMI certified to write and sing gospel music. Traveled across the West Coast and Mid-Coast, singing with Dottie Peoples, Donnie Sapp, and who else? Open up for quartet music at the Grand Ole Opera in Tennessee. But I have a book. I'm an author. I'm a mother of 3, a grandmother of 2, and I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. Charlotte in the house. Thank you for joining us. One of our beautiful hostess with the mostest. All right. Kawana, let us know who you are, where you coming from.
Great evening. I am, excuse me, I am Kawana Valet. And so, like Fabiana, I have 2 words for this week, really 2 words for all of this month. And it is amazingly well. When people ask, hey, how are you? I am amazingly well. And let me explain why I am amazingly well.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, kind of had a little illness tried to attack my body and a little cough and whatnot. And that thing was trying to linger. And so I am exercising my faith by saying I am amazingly well. It don't matter what's trying to go on, what I see, what I'm feeling. I am amazingly well. So I say all of that to say that I hail here in the great state of Mississippi on the Gulf Coast by way of Louisiana. I am in corporate America and I am a child of God. And I am excited to
Hey,
be here with you guys on tonight.
yes.
Amen. I love it.
That's nice.
Listen, if Fabiana said she got 4 words, Kawana said she got 2 words. I love it. I am here for all of it. I am here for it. When I say I'm
Yeah.
here for it, I'm here for it. Come on, Jessica. How many words you gonna have? 8?
I just got one because I just got one. And it's because the song just came out this week, but it's a song I've been humming all week, but it's overflow because we all want to see overflow in our life in every area. And
You
so
gonna steal my word?
yeah. And but that's my word. Um I'm Jessica Renee. Well, Jessica Rogers is my real name, but Jessica Renee is who I am on Facebook. I am your neighborhood therapist. I am a co-host with Andrea on the Godly View. You see us every other Saturday. And we are on a break right now, so you won't see us every other Saturday right now this month, but usually every other Saturday. I also am a mother of one. You want to hop on and say hello? Okay, my dog's sitting right next to me. She don't want to do it. Oh, that's her hand right there. You see it? Daughter of one, 16-year-old. She's about to be a junior this coming year. I can't believe it. So that's another one to wrap my head around. She's almost done with school. And then I'm a therapist. I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Kentucky as well. That's what I do for work. That's a little bit about me. And
Thank you so
really
much.
me.
Jessica stole my word, y'all. Overflow. Oh my
Overflow. Love it.
overflow. On Monday, y'all, we were in prayer, and she was like, I'm gonna stop the recording because we in the overflow now. I said, oh, I'm taking that. We in the overflow now. I'm in the overflow. And I was telling Fabiana before we got on, and I was talking to her, and I was like, this is not just a season. We are in a lifetime of endless open doors.
Amen.
And because we have overflow, we gotta have more doors.
Yes.
We got to.
Yes.
We got to have more doors. I, I am your purpose. I don't know if I'm still on the screen or not. Y'all let me know if I'm still here. Amen.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. Push you into purpose with prayer and affirmation, letting you know that you can go from not knowing who you are to knowing who God created you to be with purpose framework. The purpose framework, allowing you to go from point A to point Z. Come on, somebody. We are going to take you through. If you would like to be a part of our community, if you would like to be a part of all things under that part, you can email me at prayerwarriordrea@gmail.com, prayerwarriordrea@gmail.com, and we'll give you more information about that. I hail from the great state of Mississippi by way of California. I was born in California, but I lived in Mississippi for the longest, y'all. I've been here since I was about 12, but I still hail from the great state of California too. So I am retired. Ooh. Retired from the military after 18 years of serving this great country. Y'all, I don't think we really know how great we have it here in the United States. There are people in Africa who have to pay to go to kindergarten, to middle school, high school. They have to pay. They have to pay for water, pay to have water. When I say this great country, I mean I'm grateful to be here. in the great United States. Yes, we got some things that ain't right. Yes, some things that ain't going right. But baby, when I tell you, it's nothing like what's going on in some of these overseas countries.
Mhm.
Um, and from my travels, I am a well-traveled individual. Slight flex. Thank you, God. It was all him. But because come on, somebody. But because of that, it has gifted me with the opportunity to be even more grateful. So that's my second word because I'm a go ahead and take a book from Fabiana and Kawada. I'm gonna do two words too. So I am in the overflow of gratefulness. That's my two words. Like, matter of fact, I'm gonna do a couple more because Fabiana did four, so I'm gonna do a couple more. Endless open doors too. Endless. I'm taking that. I'm taking that with me. Endless open doors. So y'all do the math. Y'all know how many words I said. But without further ado, we jumping in. I love to have like a little icebreaker session, kind of just to warm us up, get us talking, and then get us into what we're discussing on tonight. We're going into the month of May. We are here in April still, but we're going into May, and we want to celebrate our mothers. We want to celebrate their triumphs, and even we want to highlight some of the things that they had to overcome to get to where they are today. And even if they're still on a journey, we want to highlight that as well because how many people know you can celebrate while you're in something? You can celebrate even if you are not at the place of total healing, even if you're not at the place of total deliverance, you can still celebrate. You can still celebrate. So tonight we have with us, starting us off, our favorite neighborhood therapist, Jessica Renee. I am so excited to have you here. Can you give us your definition of what mothering is to you?
My definition is, well, so my first definition as a young mother would have been, I would say, would have been like the unknown, right? And transition, because
Yeah.
it was unknown, and I had to transition my mindset because you gotta think I was a young mother. I was 21 when I had her, and I was still in college. Um, so for one, I didn't celebrate my 21st birthday like everybody else. I had to think about a child coming into this world. And then two, I'm still in college and I still want to be a college student, right? Like, well, I was still a college student, but I still wanted to be, I still wanted to do as other college students did. And so although I knew I had responsibilities, I still had to shift my mindset. And not saying that it came automatically. I knew it was something I had to do, but it doesn't mean I didn't fight it. Right. And so, I give my respects to my grandparents and my mother. My mom had her own battles. And so, but I had a very strong support system. My grandparents are like my second parents. And so, my grandmother especially, they made, I was halfway there. I still just had that growing up to do. And so they knew that they had to keep coaching me, but I knew the basis of, okay, you have a responsibility and you have to take care of that responsibility. And I could do that. But so the beginning was that transition and that shift. Now, to me, what mothering means to me is it means sacrifice. It means um it means strength. It means love. It means it means somewhat of a healing because I get to provide for her and get to show her things that maybe that I didn't get to take care of in me, but I can show her a different way now that I know better. And so in kind of a way, it is a healing for me too, because I get to show her differently. And by showing her, that means that I'm doing the work, right? I'm not going back and making the same choices because I want to show her different. So I'm healing myself because I'm choosing to do differently. So I'm doing something different to show her that she can have different.
Jessica, you starting this thing off with a punch and a power, and I didn't I say I was gonna call you TNT? You and Dr. Kim.
Yeah.
TNT. Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
Sacrifice, strength, love, healing equals mothering. Did y'all get that? Sacrifice, strength. Ooh. Sacrifice, strength plus love equals. Oh, this is good. Okay. I'm trying to chew on this and have this conversation at the same time. I don't know if I could do both. Listen, this is so good. I cannot express to you so much surrounding this conversation as I was thinking of what we were going to talk about for the month of May, what it looked like. But this is the embodiment. Sacrifice is, I think, one of the main things that a lot of mothers have to do in order to become a mother, because you literally give up your body. You literally become a house for your baby. You literally become their resting place. Your body becomes their home. So you have to sacrifice immediately upon being impregnated. The first thing when you're coming into being a mother, sacrifice. And it's so important that we look at that word strength in two ways, because I read it together and then I read it apart. Sacrifice, strength, which is a whole nother, I think, subject. And I don't want to go down that route, but that's something that we are going to have to revisit. But sacrifice, strength, and then strength by itself. When I think about sacrifice, strength, and when I think about strength alone, as a mother, in order for us to love properly, there has to be a strength where we're not allowing our sacrifice to override our strength, and not allowing our love to be imbalanced. I hope what I'm saying is making sense, because I have 3 mothers here, and I really want you guys to kind of step in, because when I say I'm processing this thing, because Jessica didn't drop the bomb on me with this definition, this is a lot. What you guys think? Because I feel like I'm going 50 million places, and I don't know if I'm going the right one.
That was a lot. And the number one thing is sacrifice. Because regardless of whether you're ready or not, here baby comes.
Ready or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baby coming. I mean, whatever you were thinking you were going to do, whatever you were planning to do.
Woo.
Yeah.
We're going to have to pivot, because listen, this way.
I would like to say in that sacrifice
Go ahead,
thing, I think in that, what I see in that is that, sorry, it's my cat. She wanted to say hello. I think in that sacrifice strength sometimes is what the sorry. She does what she wants.
Right.
Is that you do sacrifice your strength, because that child is the thing. Sometimes when you think of Samson, is like his hair was his strength, right? And so your child is kind of like your hair. Like now, somebody come for
Mhm.
my child, like like she can be my strength, but she can also be my greatest weakness. You know,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
so the
Mhm.
Lord asked Abraham, was Abraham to sacrifice his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, asked Abraham to
Mhm.
sacrifice his son because he wanted to see, do you trust me, or is your treasure with your son, or is it
Mhm.
with me?
Mhm.
And so also within this, I didn't say this, but once I understood that she is my greatest assignment, that I
Mhm.
also that changed my way of thinking towards motherhood, right? That I have to put her first, but God still has to come first,
Mhm.
right? And so, I can't put her above God still, even, you know, but so sacrificing strength sometimes means that um she can still she your children can do things that can still hurt you to the core, right? They can still do things. So sometimes you're going to sacrifice your strength because your child is going to do things that are going to make you have to sacrifice,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So, and it's because of their decision at times, and so not yours. And so you have to learn that as a parent too. And it's not about you, it may be about
Mhm.
them. They just make a wrong choice. And I was a young mother, I wasn't married, so my mom had to sacrifice because she then helped me,
Mhm.
because I wasn't, what I'm saying. So she sacrificed helping me, and my grandparents. So it's always, you'll continue to sacrifice down the line.
Yeah. This is so good. I feel like this really leads us into our next question, like really well, because with all of the sacrifice that comes, there sometimes does come those things, like you said, where the things you didn't ask for, and sometimes it can put you in a place where it could be trauma filled. It could feel heavy. The weights could feel a lot. Can you tell us how you experienced certain things that you had to overcome? How did it impact your relationship with your faith, and how did it impact your relationship with your community?
So I would remember. So one particular thing that stands out when I got pregnant is when, so the church I was going to then, I was ushering at the time, and
Mhm.
I, like I said, I don't hold it against my grandmother. I know she was felt like she was doing the right thing. I don't think that like it was right or should be right, but again, I don't hold it against her because I know that's just what, you know, another time. But she told me that I had to step down from ushering because I was a sin to be pregnant before marriage. And so
Mhm.
I was like, okay. And then they had something at the church and they asked me to come talk about um being an unwed mother. And so I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I felt like it was putting me on display. But
Mhm.
again, I understood because it was like, okay, if you're she was looking at it from the point of, if you're doing these things, this is the result that can happen. I get that, but still, I didn't like that because again, I was the only one at the time of the church. There wasn't a lot of other youth in the church around my age, so I felt like I was a target, kind of.
Mhm.
I didn't feel like I had a support system within the church. I didn't feel like I had there wasn't like a youth age, so it wasn't
Mhm.
like I was peer support or anything like that. So I just feel like it was kind of like targeted at me. And not anything against my grandmother. I don't think she was doing anything malicious, but I didn't like that. And so it like nothing of sometimes people can say like, well, I didn't have any church hurt or anything. I didn't hold against God or anything like that. Like So as far as like faith community wise, I didn't feel like I had a faith community. Um,
Mm.
um, and honestly, in my area, and it's not because I probably need to do a better job at seeking it out, but the churches I've been to, um, we don't, we don't. So when we moved here, I went to my former church, and then I go to a new church. And once I had my daughter, it was more geared towards finding her a church for the youth and stuff like that. And so there are more people my age, but we still don't have there's not a community of that we hang out or faith based. But the people that I do now have a community that I do Bible study with, but it's not with my church. It's with a girl I work with who goes to another church. So I have been connected with a faith based community, but it's still not with my church. And um, so that's been a struggle in my life. I feel like I haven't had that faith based community since I was my daughter's age. Well, younger than my daughter's age, really, since I moved here. But as far as faith, like I kept myself, my grandparents are what kept me through that tumultuous time, them praying for me. And then, um, and then as I got older, me getting back into my Bible and getting into my word myself and then doing my own work. And so that's really what kept me. But I haven't got back into besides you guys and the communities that I've gotten into now on my own behalf, I haven't, yeah. And that's been the rough part.
Wow. So, with that being said, how have you navigated feelings of unforgiveness with
Mm.
the context of your community or not community of
Not having
Black
a community.
as a Black
Right.
woman?
Mm. Um, I don't know if I have any feelings of unforgiveness with my community. I just feel like my community could do better with a lot of things. It's especially with I feel like we get too traditionalized,
Mhm,
especially with the Black churches in my area where it's very traditionalized, and I see it, and it's kind of like one of those things where one person talking about it is okay, but you need the right people to talk about it.
mhm,
It's kind of like I live in that area when you get the right person talking about it, that's when kind of like the change you can start kind of maybe moving some things around.
mhm,
But if you're a person who's not in that one where people will really listen to it, a lot of stuff doesn't change. And so that's the thing where I feel like I see like some stunted of growth um, that could change.
mhm,
Working together, I get on my spills. I talk to my grandma all the time, and and I get all these spills about stuff, and she's like, yeah, um, but I don't know. I don't have any. Again, I don't hold it against anybody. I don't hold
mhm.
any grudge against anybody, but I do think could do better.
Some change can
So
happen. Yeah.
yeah, I do think like that's just the thing. Like there are people, and I've suggested it in church. It's not that I've just sat back and said
Mhm,
quietly before. I have um our youth department just switched hands, and when we just talked about it switching meetings, I said something then about it, and I brought it up like, hey, this our age group, we need to be doing things, we need to be meeting, we need to be doing stuff together. And so I say things like I I
mhm,
do put it out there that it needs to be done and it's needed. um so, but
mhm.
I don't hold anything against anybody for it. I think it's
I
just
like I like that you releasing the ownership of your community, and I like that you are having a conversation even now,
Mhm.
where you don't see it. But I think in order to hold our communities responsible, we have to initiate the conversation further than the conversation with
Mhm.
the solution, like you
Yeah.
did. So I believe the next step is creating our own communities, which
Mhm.
which you have done.
Mhm.
And with you, I really want to applaud you because coming into certain spaces that you're not familiar with and allowing yourself to give yourself the grace to grow in those different communities. Because I know for you, like even doing like these speaking engagements, this is not something that you're used to doing, but it's created you a new community. It's
Yeah.
giving you a new space to feel supported. And if I'm saying something out of turn, let me know.
Yeah.
It's giving you a new space to feel supported and even feel heard
Mhm.
in these new spaces, because we definitely honor your voice here on this platform,
Mhm.
and in different spaces. And I think a lot of times we don't know where people have been, and we don't
Mhm.
know what they have kind of went through. And then when we hear their stories, to me is very triumphant for you,
Mhm.
because like you're in a healing space,
Mhm.
um, and that's after not being supported in the Christian community, but being supported by God. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so this to me is a very triumphant story. And I just thank you for sharing with us your experience, because sometimes I think it can be hard sometimes to even just give space and say, no, I don't feel like the church did. My church, it didn't do the job that I was expecting or that I thought it should do. And I think that's a real statement. And I thank you for sharing that. And even you speaking up in the space and saying, this is what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what we need. And then of course, I like to always take it a step further
Mhm.
is now, what am I going to do about it? And what did you do? You start your own Bible class.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
you created your community.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is powerful. Okay, go ahead, Kawana. Oh, this is so good.
Oh, you muted.
Muted.
I think that may kind of somewhat touch on what I'm getting ready to ask. But in what ways have you found support and healing in your journey towards, forgiveness and healing?
Well, yeah, just that. Well, I mean, well, even just doing the godly view, I told James that, well, before when he it was like that Christmas, I had prayed. I was like, okay, God, I was like, I'm not going to miss out on any more opportunities. Like, if you ask me to do something and it seems like it's from you, then I'm going to do it. And then James called me, asked me to do the show, and I was like, okay. And since then, I prayed. Like after that, I even prayed for him to surround me with more godly community, and look where I'm at now. So hey,
Mhm.
y'all. And so, it kind of like Andrea is saying that, like, I'm teared up because it is a full circle moment. And so
Yeah.
spaces I didn't have then, I have now. So
Oh,
Yes.
listen, we are here for you. This is something that I
Yes.
want to highlight. I want to highlight right here, and then baby, I'm gonna let you go. But I want to highlight, she prayed
Mhm.
and God answered.
Mhm.
I gotta highlight that,
Mhm.
because in these spaces, and tonight we are talking about trauma, we are talking about forgiveness, we are talking about those things. And if you listen to her story, you can hear the
Yeah.
places where there was that trauma there. She might
Yeah.
not highlight it as much as I hear it, but it's there.
Mhm.
With your grandma saying that, that was hard.
Yeah.
And that was a place where you had to forgive in your own way. And relinquishing the accountability doesn't mean that they didn't do something to you,
Yeah.
but allowing them to take ownership of what you experience and allow that healing process to start, whichever way God allows you to do it. And to me, it's literally you coming back to Him because
Mhm,
He's been the place for you.
mhm.
And this is so powerful. And I'm so thankful that you're sharing your story with us here on tonight. Go ahead, baby. I know. I'm sorry. I'm just so full.
There are so many entities that can come into play when it comes to motherhood, your first time becoming a mother. I was a mother at 17, then again at 19. So I was a mother of two graduating high school.
Mm,
My community, I thank God for my family because we all live within 2,000 acres. So we were all like 2 acres apart. So I had my
mhm,
mom, I had my aunts, I had my grandmother. But like Jessica said, the church outcasts you. And I'm going to say it just
mhm.
that's exactly what they did. There's no programming to comfort, or what word am I using? Want to use. There's nothing that they had in place to combat the result
Support.
of becoming a single mother.
Mm.
And of course, like the woman they wanted to stone, the only person they saw was the female in the raw.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
There was no acknowledgement of the father, who the father was. They didn't even care.
Yeah.
All fingers
Yeah.
was on you, like you did
Mm-hmm.
it by yourself.
Yeah.
So speaking on it and probably getting involved, like my church now, they built this 7 bedroom house. He bought a whole community, my pastor and his wife. They built this 7 bedroom house with 4 baths, 2 family rooms. One has a conference area where they bring resources into the house. They will have 6 pregnant young girls living in that house with 2 mothers, 2 people that transition from out the church that they train
Hmm.
to help them
that's
Yeah.
good.
become what they need to be.
That's
So
Awesome.
good.
even though there's nothing new under the sun,
Yeah.
Hmm.
women have been having babies at the age of 14, 15, 16 since 1940, if not before.
Right.
Probably.
So it's just not just talking about it. Like Andrea said, we have to push forward. Like
Mhm.
I'm going to start taking the classes to be one of the mothers.
That's
Awesome.
good.
So it's we just need to pull together because in this day and age, this is a totally different era
Mm-hmm.
from
Yeah.
when we got pregnant
Yeah.
to now. So we can become influencers
Mm-hmm.
to the community of
Amen.
young women. And I know that's what I've been called to because I
Mm-hmm.
did it for 16 years.
Yeah.
But they need us. They may have
Amen.
a mother, but I'm sure what the Bible says that
A
it takes
village.
a village.
It
Mm-hmm.
takes a village, a multitude.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She got a village and a multitude. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
Amen.
So let's see. Let me go back to this. The fifth question: how has your understanding of forgiveness and healing evolved through your experience as a mother?
um. Say it one more time.
How has your understanding of forgiveness and healing evolved through your experience as a mother?
Um. So my understanding of forgiveness is it's constant, right? So um you constantly, sometimes there might be things that come up that you're like, oh, I thought I was past that, or I thought that that hasn't come to my brain in so long. Why am I thinking about that? And you just have to, you either have to decide in that moment that you are going to continue to think about, to dwell on it, or you're going to say, nope, I choose to forgive it, and I'm going to let it go, and it's not going to take up any more of my time because I I truly forgive, and so, and, sometimes we think we forgave when we could have just fake forgave. So you have to understand whether you've done that too. Have I really
Wait
forgiven
a
it,
minute.
or
Wait a
have
minute.
I fake forgiven it?
I heard that
Wait a
too.
minute. Wait a minute. What fake
Yeah.
forgave me? What fake forgave me? Come on, sis. Go ahead, break that down
Well,
for us.
well, it's just kind of like that. I forgave that, like that, like it's that I forgave that because it sounds good. It
It
sounds
didn't come
good,
from the heart.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but it just eating you up inside every second, every second. And so true forgiveness is where, yes, even though you can truly forgive and it can still come back, and
Right.
but if you truly forgiven it, you can say, okay, out something today, that just might have came at the wrong time. It something remind me of that. That's okay. But I can lay that back down and I can be okay with that. And and then having a peace about it again, you know? And so that's true forgiveness, where you really have a peace about it and you're not holding on to it. Right? You're not carrying it
Mm,
around with you everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
this is good. True forgiveness is where you have a peace.
Yes.
This is good. I'm going to go back to our first definition because I knew it was missing a word. I felt like something in my spirit was just like, you got to have one more word in there. Sacrifice, strength, love, healing, and being in peace.
Mhm.
The reason why I'm adding that is because as Christians, we have to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
As mothers, you have to
Mm-hmm.
forgive.
Yes. Yes.
As people, we got to forgive. And there's a peace that comes with forgiveness
Mhm.
that even gives us strength to be able to make the sacrifice. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, this child done did this again.
Yeah.
But there's a peace when you
Yeah.
forgive.
Hmm.
Come on, somebody. Go ahead, Kawana. This is our last question. Oh my gosh. This is good. Y'all done. Ooh, this is
This
good.
is good. We'll have to have Jessica back. Of
Again
course,
and
we are.
again. Again and again.
So, how do you prioritize self care and mental health as a mother while also navigating the complexities of trauma and unforgiveness?
Well, so it's an ever flowing balance, you know. Some weeks, some days are better than others. Like I said, with forgiveness, some days it's like I like to use thought stopping, which is again just that. Like if I notice it, like why is this on my mind? Like, okay, I got stop. Just stop. Like, okay, you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
First I gotta assess it. Like, have I really forgiven this, or am
Mm-hmm.
I just, what's going on here? Is it a bad day? Sometimes I'm stressed. And this is again where self-awareness comes in. Because I know me, like sometimes my language, I'm my own worst enemy. And so sometimes my self-talk gets bad when I not bad. When I say bad, I mean like, you're just not doing good today. Like you are, you keep messing up. Like what's wrong with you, girl? Like get it together. But it's because I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. And so I sometimes when I have to notice that within myself. And then I notice, okay, I need to rest. Because even Jesus rested, right?
Yes.
Moms, you gotta rest. You
Yeah.
gotta rest.
Yes.
Even Jesus went off by himself because his apostles was like, y'all getting on my nerve. Now it's fine. He didn't say that, but he went off to rest.
Right.
Okay. But moms, take your 5 minutes after you work,
Mhm. Mhm.
after if you need to go to your room, wash your face, wash the day off, whatever you got to do. But when I notice those things, I know that I need to rest. I need to evaluate what's going on and then say no. Like you start stopping again. That's just saying like, hey, look, okay, stop. I notice you're doing this. What's going on? Um, but yes, but for me, self-care is ever flowing. I may get to the gym this week, I may not, but I gotta give myself the grace to not beat myself up if it
Mhm.
doesn't look perfect like how I wanted it to, because
Mhm.
then I get stressed about that, and I ain't got time to be stressed about something that yes, it's good for me, but I can do something else,
Mhm.
and um so yeah, just it's always ever flowing. It looks different each week, but just making sure that I do what I need to do to make sure that I'm okay.
And
Because
that's good. Yeah. I love it. She said, just making sure that I'm okay. And
mhm,
that's okay. That is self-care.
mhm,
Um, because you need that mental break. You take
mhm,
on so much, not
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
because you're a mother, because but this is your career.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
you absorb other people,
yeah,
whatever they're going through.
yeah.
So yeah,
Here
we give you
lately,
grace. We
yeah.
give you grace.
Thank you. Here lately,
But
I do a lot of body scans. I just kind of check myself. I
Mhm.
mentally check
Yeah,
myself from head to toe, like how am I feeling,
yeah,
and and do that.
self
So
check ins
yeah.
mhm,
are some of the best, I think, tools of self care that you can have,
mhm,
because you need to check in with yourself in order to know where the self care needs to go.
right,
Mhm,
In
mhm.
order for you to know what to do, you
yeah,
got to check in.
yeah,
Yeah,
We want to have check-ins in relationships. We want to have check-ins on the job. We want to have check-ins with our friends, but we
right,
got to have some self check-ins.
right,
We got to check in with self. And that body scan, you guys, literally just coming to ease and
mhm,
allowing yourself to just like close your eyes and just let yourself just feel like, where do I feel tension in my body? Where
mhm,
is the stress? Where am I holding stress? Where am I holding pain?
yeah,
mhm.
And a lot of times when we're going through something financial, it's in our back.
mhm, mhm,
And if you have experienced like something where it is more draining, it's probably going to be right here in these temple areas.
Mine is right here.
Mine
that's
too.
where I hold my stress too, is in my neck.
Right.
All in
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
I'm back in
Yes.
physical therapy for it.
mhm,
And I want to tell you guys something about that area, right there in the neck. Sometimes, especially as single women, um, when we don't allow or have like the support that we need, we're carrying the weight of our lives right there.
Wow.
Literally. Literally.
And I remember my massage therapist telling me that I have to do neck exercises. And I'm like, what neck exercise? What is that?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, so I started like I'm like, okay, so I started doing these things, you guys. And when I tell you, the stress off my body
Mhm.
just started fading away. And once I feel it try to come back, I start back again.
Mhm.
And but baby, let me show y'all one thing. It just go round, round. Wow.
Hmm.
It's something as small as me just going around with my head.
Yeah, yeah. And the chin tucks too.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about. But this has been another amazing, amazing conversation with Jessica Rogers, our neighborhood therapist. I have felt so much breakthrough in this show. I am so thankful that each time that we have with you open up a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and you give us so much. And we just want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for being a part. Thank
Yeah.
you to our two lovely hosts. I love
Yes.
the way you guys facilitate. You come in, and I love it. Thank you so much for our viewers, the people who join in with us. I feel like this was just our conversation, but we did have some viewers
Mhm.
on here, and we thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah.
We will be back, not this next Tuesday, but the next Tuesday. After that. So be on the lookout for our Mother's Day series. This is kicking off our Mother's Day series. We're gonna have some good things going on this month coming into May. I'm excited about May, y'all. I'm excited about Mother's Day. I'm excited about celebrating the mothers and having these great conversations. Is there anything that you have coming up, Jessica, that you want to share with us, or anything you would like to say before we get off?
No. Both of you just enjoy your Mother's Day. And thank you for having me on again. And yeah, that's all I would say. I enjoyed myself as always. And thank you.
Thank you. Fabiana or Kawana, is there any question that you guys want to ask before we get off?
I don't have a question, but I will make a statement. I know, our last question slash little talk was about self-care. And excuse me, I just want to say that it is important to make sure that we are filling our cup because you cannot pour from a cup that is empty. And so that's why self-care is very important.
It's a message. Fabiana?
Um, just remember that we are human. We're not
Mhm.
robots. So
Yeah.
we have to live this life only once.
Mhm.
So let's be intentional about making it a priority to think about self. It's not selfish.
Yeah.
Amen. It's not selfish to think about self. Come on, somebody. That's a whole word in itself. Thank you again, lovely ladies. We will see you back. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. Bye
All right.
bye.
Good
Bye.
night.